this is Brandon from Watches on You. Today, we have a real treat for you guys, and it's something we don't usually do.
Today we're going to actually have a selection of watches, all pre-1955, and the reason for that is this video is going to be about radioactive lumed watches. So pre-1955, a lot of the watches that were lumed, well actually almost all of them, used radium for the lume. So now we're going to be using a Geiger counter to see the levels of radioactivity in each of the watches, and so now we're going to go down to the table so we can show you guys.
Okay guys, here are the selection of watches that we have, and first off I'm just going to do a non-lumed watch to show you how that reacts with the Geiger counter. So this is an Elgin bomb timer, which is very interesting actually. It works like a normal stopwatch. You have 0 to 10 seconds and then you have the tens of seconds in that little dial, which is interesting. But so when I put the Geiger counter up to it, it's a little bit higher because the watch is around it, but it doesn't really, you can hear the clicks. It doesn't really increase that much when I put it up to it. As when I put it up to this marine deck clock, you can hear it goes absolutely nuts, and you can see we're rapidly increasing in the microsieverts per hour there. And this one will go up to actually, I believe I tested it around 30, so if you just let it sit there for a while. So, Brandon, now you pick one.
All right, so probably my favorite of all these is it's a Patriot Trench watch from World War I. But Patriot, now many of you guys probably don't know this, it was actually like owned by Omega, so really, if you guys have seen a lot of watches that look like this, it's very similar to the Omegas of the time. So we will test the radiation of that. And as you can see, it's actually even higher than the deck clock. It just keeps going up. And this level of radiation is kind of similar to, say, a dental x-ray, or maybe the background radiation that's actually just totally received by someone over the course of an entire day. But again, this is obviously in a much shorter period of time. So, Zach, why don't you go on to your next?
So the next one I'm going to pick here is this Bulova military watch. It's manual wind. It's from World War II, and this was actually used in the war. It's got the markings on the back. I wish I could show you, but the strap doesn't allow me to do that. So now I will put the Geiger counter up to this. And you can see again, it just takes off. You can hear those clicks there. This is a little less radioactive than the others, but you can see that it still is just going nuts on this watch. So, why don't you pick your other favorite?
All right, so probably my other favorite is the Luftwaffe clock that was inside of a plane in World War II, obviously. So if I can take the Geiger counter here. And as you guys can see, I mean, this one isn't actually quite as much as the others. And that is not actually because it's older and that it's decayed more. The half-life of radium is thousands and thousands of years. So the reason that a lot of people, so I actually had originally thought before reading into how this type of lume works, that the reason that none of this lume actually works as lume anymore is because the radium has all decayed. That's actually not true. There's another compound that reacts with the radium that it decays, and it's not actually able to work anymore, but most of the radium that was originally put into this watch is still radium. It hasn't decayed into anything else. And I thought that was quite interesting, which is why these watches are still very radioactive, even though they are far past the time where the lume stopped working. So I hope this was an interesting video where you could learn a little bit more about how radium watches work. If you like this video, please remember to subscribe and share. Thank you.